Hi, I'm Gary Doman, International Sales Manager for GEW. I support our customers and our colleagues around the world in the Sheetfed application for LED systems. What I'd like to do, and I'm quite excited about doing, is showing you our new swatch that gives real-world examples of LED UV printing in application. So if I may, I'll show you some of the samples that we have, and we've deliberately wanted to make comparisons with what's printed conventionally. So here we have an uncoated sample sheet, printed conventionally. So you can see it looks good. But then we have the LED UV produced version, which is much brighter, much sharper, much punchier, because with the advantage that it won't mark, scuff or scratch, and we don't have to use spray to keep it from setting off. So there's a real world example where people do want to print uncoated and are unable to. And really what we say is what you print and what you see is what you get, unlike the previous sample where it's on conventional ink which wants to dry, and when it does dry it fades effectively. Some other examples that we've produced, again just in a real world example, is taking that same image but using a drip-off effect where we employ a printing unit, the last printing unit, and the coating unit, and with a combination of a plate and a complete flood coating blanket, we can produce a spot varnish, which previously you'd have had to have a cut blanket or a spot blanket, which is expensive, generally only used once, so it prevents people from really wanting to do it. But with drip-off or chemical embossing, as it's sometimes called, you can do it very easily, very quickly, and very cost effectively, and that's a really nice really added value print that you can offer customers. We also do, we've done things with the frog here. You can see an example here where we've done it printed normally, just as a flat sheet, but to give the added value, we then applied the drip-off effect again, just to highlight the frog's eyes. And again, that really does add value. We also used recycled material as some examples here, again, printed conventionally. Again, it looks great, but when you compare it to the LED version, it does look washed out because we know that conventional ink tends to dry back, and the LED doesn't. As we said, what you print and what you see is what you get. And again, with recycled, particularly where it wants to rub and scuff in the downstream processes, with LED UV printing, it won't. Other things that we do, again, same image with the drip-off effect. A great example, I think, of the drip-off with that one, again, using a plate and a flood varnish coating blanket. Very simply done, very cost-effective. Customers also want to print on mirrorboard or metpol, it's sometimes called metallized polyester. Again, great effect, virtually impossible to do when you're printing conventionally. Very easily printed with LED UV, and you get great effects. And of course you can print white very easily to enable that effect, but again, very, very nice example, very much called for in the industry, but very difficult to do. But with LED UV, very simple. Other things customers want to do sometimes is produce plastic or PET, PP, but again, you need to be able to produce a white, and of course we do, and this is a clear plastic. So again, lots of call for it, very difficult to do conventionally, very easy to do with LED UV. And again, we've got some other examples of how that's produced on a frosted board, frosted PET, if I can just get it, there we go. So there's a frosted version as well. So again, much call for it. In conventional printing, very difficult to do. And then we have some tinted board with just a white, slightly off white there, that would be very difficult to do otherwise outside of LED UV. But again, adding lots of value. But so these are just some of the real world practical examples that people want to produce. And of course there's lots more you can do, but these we feel are probably the most relevant in the industrial printing market. So yeah, we hope they're going to be some use and some help in supporting our customers.